I am Brandy Villagomez, and this is my science notebook for EDEL 443 for Lisa Frazier's class. This is my table of contents. Everything is labeled by unit, and then I have a resources section at the end. So for Unit 1, I started with my video notes and reflections. Please excuse my daughter's junky chest in the back. Here are the presentation notes and my chapter notes. I started doing my chapter notes in the beginning and putting them in my science notebook, but then later I stopped doing that because I realized that's not really what it was about. But I did add things that I wanted to remember in there. There are more reflections, video reflections. And then for Unit 2, here again are my chapter notes that I was doing in the beginning. And my video notes and reflections. This is my before and after for the process skills activity and vocab building, which I really liked, and I did with my niece and her little friend, and they had a blast. Here are my observations and reflections page for each of the 3 activities that we did, or experiments that we did. Here is some of the student work. She did solid, and so this was an ice cube, and this is water. And then Allie did liquid, and hers is, I think this is a lake with boats on it. And then not an example is her tree. These were their predictions of what would sink and float. For Unit 3, here is my reflection and video questions. And then I added the guiding questions that you'd put in the unit because I thought those were really helpful, and I've looked back on those a lot when I was doing my lessons and teaching my lessons. This is the shared Google Doc, which again I have looked through a lot and gotten ideas out of there. There are a lot of good ideas in there. For Unit 4, here is my reflection on the inquiry recipe video and assignment. And then my reflections on the other video for Unit 4. And I really liked this chart, so I kept this for my reference, and I also saved a copy on my laptop. This was my inquiry lesson recipe assignment. For Unit 5, these are my notes for the Cornell notes video, which I really liked a lot. I'm going to try and use that myself. And these are my reflections for the other videos. And then This was my notes for science in a box before I did it and during, what to add and all that. I added safety glasses because I remember you saying that kids love to be scientists, and that is super true. My kids love to wear the safety glasses, even when they don't really need them. That was my science in a box reflection. And then here are some pictures of what I used. And here is my cute niece trying it out for me when we practiced, wearing her goggles. This was the 25 ways for teaching without talking. I really liked that a lot, so I kept that in my science journal. Unit 6, these were my video questions and reflections and notes. We were in the hospital, so I used my notepad and then I just put them in a Word doc. And I think I submitted them, but here they are. I really liked that idea. I think that would help me a lot since I have a hard time with guiding questions. I also like the I don't know free zone. My practicum teacher does that, and it is really useful, and the kids know where to look in the classroom to come up with things that they could say instead of I don't know or I can't, and I really like that. Like I said, we were in the hospital, so I didn't really have a pen and paper, so I couldn't draw, so I just snap pictures of the video when I see something that I want to remember or that I would typically draw, and I just added them in there. Here are more video and reading reflections and notes. This was the tic-tac-toe assignment. And then here was my lesson plan on erosion. My niece practiced with me, and then she wanted to get creative, so she had seen this somewhere else, and that's what she thought she was doing. So after she helped me practice the real experiment, I let her do this one, and she loved it. She's a first grader, and she had so much fun. These are my observations and reflections during my Skittles erosion activity. The kids were super excited, and I didn't hear anything negative from any of them. Even my 2 special needs kids who usually cry or get frustrated when we do things like this because they don't always understand and they can't always do it themselves, but they loved it. Jade even at the end came and hugged me and said, "Can we do more?" This is my before and after for the Skittles erosion. And like I said in my reflection, the writing was way too hard for this class, and so I had to adapt kind of in the middle, but it worked out really well, and they still had a lot of fun. And I still got what I needed out of them. There's my pictures. And some student work. This was the strategies for student engagement, which you had in one of the modules, which I really liked, so I printed it and put it in here. It's helpful to go back really quick and think of something so you're not doing the same thing over and over again. then in Unit 7, these were the assessment strategies that you put in there that I also really liked, so I put them in here. This was my lesson plan for matter. And then, gosh, my matter lesson reflection. And then Unit 8, these are the English language development strategies. Those are helpful, so I put them in here. And then here are my video notes. My beautiful drawing of the ice cap. My reflection, which is so messy. We were in the hospital for some of it, so again, I just printed what was on my notepad, which really works for me, and I can get it done when I need to, but it's just not written out. And then I printed all of these because I really like those, and I want to remember all of these different DI things. I love the tic-tac-toe. I remember doing something like that in elementary school, and it was my favorite because you got to choose what you wanted to write about or do, and I think giving kids control leads to fewer meltdowns. I really like that. And then my resources section, I kept a Word document and a notepad, which I just merged, but so then when I found something or heard of something or saw something, I just put it on there really quick with the link, and it's also on my laptop, so I can just really quickly click on the link and it goes to there. Some of my favorites were Generation Genius. I love that website. It has lesson plans, DIY activities, and it even has the standards and everything on there for you. So if you're in a hurry, or I was even thinking like sub plans if you need something quick and easy, and it's all just right there. That's really helpful. And then in my portfolio group, they were doing middle school, but they did Jeopardy with math facts. So I went to Jeopardy Labs, and you can build on any subject, which I thought was really cool. Again, I remember playing Jeopardy on the blackboard when I was a kid, and it was super fun. I just think that's a really good way. And then I really want to do this frozen bubbles experiment, but it hasn't been cold enough. So I put that on there so I'd remember. Classroom ideas. I have a Pinterest board for all of my classes usually, and then like my dream classroom, and I just put things on there. So I really liked that science little area, which I thought was cool. Even if you don't have time to do a whole group science activity, you could have one a week, and then the kids, when they're done, could go. I was just thinking they could go and do their own little science experiment, which I thought was really fun. And I liked the way they set this up, so all the kids are together but can work independently. And I love a good bulletin board. This teacher, when you clicked on it, she did doors for all of her science units, and I thought that was really cool. That reminded me of the video where she said advertising. It would be cool if you could just do the door and then they could guess, kind of, that would be your advertising. And then I just really liked that. 5 things to remember when planning your science notebook. Your science block. That was just a cute graphic. You could have my classroom. I have a special needs child, and she does better with pictures, and so I really like all of these cartoony pictures that the kids could use. I really like those, so I added them in here. And then I have an experiments tab, and I just put experiments that I thought would be really fun when I was looking for experiments to do in my lesson plans, but then I didn't end up using them, but I still wanted to go back and maybe do those sometime. This one's dancing sprinkles, vibrations and sound. I really liked that one. And this is from that Generation Genius, so super easy to follow, and you could tweak it however you wanted to. Paper mache, messy, fun. Reducing the impact on your earth. Nope, that one's in there twice. That's the sound. That one's a kazoo. This is the oobleck one that I did. I really loved that, and the girls really loved that, and I would love to do that again. So I kept that in my notebook. And I even added these to the back. This one's about landslides. This one is about erosion rates, and this is on that Simon's STEM day, which again I really like because it gives you the level of difficulty in the grade range and all of that stuff, so you're not guessing, is this too easy or too hard for my kids? And then I really wanted to do this one, but I didn't have enough time, but I still might go back into that class and do it before the end of the year. Lemon volcanoes, I thought that would be really fun, and you know, lemons are cheap. This seems like a cheap, easy thing I could do with every single kid in the class. Or partner pairs, which worked really well this year. I found it on Pinterest, but I would just adapt it to just be a little bit more what I need. These were just lesson plan ideas that were in our modules that I really liked, and I liked the way that they were written and planned out, so I kept them. I hope that's okay, to just refer back to, just to remember how they were written and what they had in them. And I just kept a few of those. And that is my science notebook. My reflection at the end, I wrote, and I will upload. I had a lot of fun in this class. I had to adapt myself a little because we were in the hospital so much, and my daughter was so sick this semester, but I still made it work, and I had a lot of fun, and I really appreciate you and your teaching and your patience with me. I just had a lot of fun with this, and I'm sad that this class is over. So thank you.